When I was growing up, which was in the late 90s or mid 90s, I was raised on this idea that free speech and the power of the market was all about how good you were as a journalist and how truthful your stories were. But that's clearly not the case, because if that was true, they'd allow journalists like you to continue to operate in the free market of funds, but they went after your money. They tried to shut you down by demonetizing you. Does that mean that the free press is not really a free press, but more of an official consortium of interested parties who don't want to give up their hold?
Well, if you look around the world, a lot of the leading media companies are actually political playthings by oligarchs. Take the United States. The most influential newspaper, I would say, is the New York Times. It is owned by Carlos Slim, the richest man in Mexico. The Washington Post, the most influential newspaper in the capital city of America, it's owned by Jeffrey Bezos of Amazon. Why? Are they making tons of money? No, they want a political seat at the table. And I think that one way to be successful in the media is to find yourself a billionaire, but then you better do his bidding. Another way is to find yourself a huge conglomerate, but then you better be vanilla, because you don't want to upset this group of retail customers or that group. But we can't be controlled that way. And so here's what happens. In Canada, let me just give you a quick example of something outrageous that was done to us that we managed to survive. Justin Trudeau nationalized the election debates. There used to be election debates in election time that were hosted by media companies, and there might be several, and maybe a university or maybe a TV show, whatever. Justin Trudeau bizarrely nationalized them and took them over by the government, and then he banned his political enemies from attending, including Rebel News. He literally refused to let us come to the debate. I'm not saying to be on the panel.
Very open and free democracy there. That sounds completely above board.
So I'm not saying that he banned us from being an election debate moderator. I wouldn't ask for that. But just to even be in the building. So we had to go to the federal court with an emergency court application. And because it was government run, the courts found twice, because he did this in the 2019 election, and then he did it again in the 2021 election. Twice our rights were violated. Twice we ran to court, and we were alone in court in the last election. No one else came to defend our freedom of speech and freedom of the press. And that was interesting to me, because other media could dislike our political shade. That's fine. But are they really fine with the principle being established that the government can pick and choose who does journalism? And the problem I'm getting to is, besides oligarchs or big conglomerates, the final way media can operate these days is with government money. And in Canada, Justin Trudeau bails out literally 99% of the media. 99% of the media in this country get government funds directly. So they're never going to ask prickly questions of Trudeau. They're always going to be obedient. And of course, he's going to let them into his events like the debates, because he controls them. Whoever pays the piper calls the tune. And Rebel News is very unusual in that we're one of the few independent media left in Canada.